Before Mr. Kittleman speaks, we have another very special guest. He's a very dear friend of Mr. Enzman, Mr. Herbert Shiffles. The Enzman and Shiffles have forged a bond over the past 25 years through mutual exchanges of their jazz ensembles and have gone back and forth many times across the Atlantic. So please welcome, all the way from Freiburg, Germany, Mr. Herbert Shiffles.
Dear Barry, Jody, Judy, ladies and gentlemen, it is about 30 years ago I had a students' jazz orchestra, jazz ensemble, and this was totally new at that time in Germany. Jazz, yes, well known, popular, but there was no jazz at schools, and I thought I should study how they do this in the States. I knew an English teacher who did language exchanges with a high school in Baltimore. I came with him, planning to travel around to meet colleagues with jazz ensembles. At that school in Baltimore, I met Hope Hutton. Yesterday evening at the party, she was there. Hope, are you here? Yeah. I met Hope Hutton. She said, Barry Enzman, he is the man you are looking for. Yes, it's true, I met him, and after a short time, we said, in exchange, why not? Let's try it. And a year later, Barry came to Freiburg with his jazz ensemble. The actual players should know it is a time before they were born. So let me tell you, no internet, no email, no fax, the music not on an iPod or CD, we had cassette recorders. And when the Gleneckers arrived, the students were nervous and very eager because when you do such a trip today, you know each other via email, Facebook, and so on. You know your partners long before you come. But then, 30 years ago, they saw each other the first time they were leaving the bus. But this was an old charm. It was great. If there are alumni here, they will confirm this. Please let me tell two short stories. You know, 1990, the former Soviet Union came down to an end. And in the following time, a lot of people with German ancestors came to Germany. And there was a regulation, the younger people should decide at the age of 18 if they really wanted to be German or prefer to go back to Russia. One of these boys was Alexei Kogan, a wonderful trumpet player, 16 years old. I wanted him to be with us, and he wanted so much to come with us to the States. But he had no German passport, because he was in this situation. I wondered what to do next. I wrote a letter to the chief of the consulate in Frankfurt. He was a friendly man, phoned me and asked, do you guarantee to bring me back? I said, yes, of course. And so Alex got a paper and we started. At the airport in Washington, there was an officer who said, you are the German orchestra with the Russian boy without papers? I go pale and thought, my God, now we have a problem. The officer said, please follow me. We followed in a separate room, afraid, but why? The chief of the consulate had written a letter, and therefore we had a preferential treatment. 5 minutes and formalities were rushed for all 30 persons. It was great. We did a concert here, and where do you remember Alexis Cogan sang a verse of the song Fever in Russian language? Do you remember? Second story. Another exchange some years later. I tell it because the students of today cannot imagine this. We were on the way back to Germany, and really it's true. The captain of this aeroplane opened his cabin and said, "Boys, are you interested to sit beside me?" So in sequence, my students sat beside the pilot. But this was before 9/11. Today, incredible. Barry, I have a present, but I forgot it in Gaithersburg. I bring it tomorrow. Our friend Lothar Jung has a book with photos of the younger Barry, the middle Barry, and the present Barry. So some years ago, we had a rainy summer in Germany. I texted to Barry, "I hope so much that the weather will become better when you arrive." Barry wrote back in German, "Ich bringe Sonne." This means I bring sun. And that is how it came. But the sentence is not 100% correct. It is not I bring sun. Correct is Barry is the sun. Thank you very much for the lecture.
We are now very privileged to have as our next speaker our new Howard County Executive, Mr. Allan Kittleman. Kittleman has served as a resident, an elected official, and a personal friend of the Enzmans and to Glenelg. Also, Ellen's daughter, Haley, happens to be Glenelg High School alumni and a former member of the marching unit family. So welcome, Mr. Kittleman.
I have a little story to tell as well. I can't top the German, but I probably have a story that probably most of the parents in the audience can relate to. My dad was a pretty good clarinetist when he was a kid. He played for the band in Iowa when he grew up. And in our family, not sure it happens to other families, but musical talent skips a generation. I certainly don't have any, but he was convinced from the time that Haley was born, she was going to play for him. And so he started practicing piano and clarinet when she was like in first grade. And people were telling him, "You can't do that." He's like, "Yes, I can." And he worked with her and worked with her and worked with her. She got to West Friendship. And I remember Michael Blackman was her teacher at West Friendship. And yeah. I remember my dad going in. Haley was a fourth grader, so she was going to go to beginner band. I remember my dad going to Michael Blackman and saying, "You know, she could be in the fifth grade band." And I remember Michael going, "Well, no, she's fourth grader, she'll start." And my dad said, "Well, just let her play." And she played, and from what I recall my dad saying, Mr. Blackman turned to him and said, "She'll be in the fifth grade band." But that, I just say that because that's what she always dreamed about, and fortunately it came true. And I remember, on a side like this, Linda was out here earlier, but I was on the Howard County Council from 1998 to 2004. And I remember coming, and Barry, I don't know if you remember this, but you gave me a tour of the old band room. And I think Linda was probably with us at the time. And he made it very clear that that band room was not going to be able to stay. We had to have a better facility, and whether he was puffing or not, he kind of made it clear to me that I don't know if I can stay if that's what the banner is going to stay. And so I worked with as many of the county officials and school system, the county government, to make sure that we got that built. Not so much because, well, granted for the community, but gosh, I want Haley to play for Barry Enzman. So it was a little bit of a selfish reason, but I'm glad it worked out, and certainly the community is very thankful. Also want to say thanks to Jody and Jesse for sharing him with us, making sure the community can continue to have him. So Barry, if you could please come forward. It's my time to do something that I would never have thought I'd have this opportunity to do, but it's great to be able to do it. Howard County, Maryland Executive Proclamation. Whereas Barry Enzman has led a distinguished musical performance and teaching career in Howard County Public School System and has made significant contributions to the performance arts as the music arts teacher at Glenelg High School. And whereas Barry has been the creative inspiration for hundreds of students and various local jazz ensembles and symphonic bands, meriting national and international acclaim and earning him many distinctions as an outstanding educator, conductor, and performer with 38 straight, 39, we got it wrong. Oh my gosh, who knew government could get something wrong? Heads will roll. Yeah, it's like 39 straight Superior County High School band assessment ratings to his credit. And whereas it is fitting for Howard County government to honor Barry for 41 years of dedicated service to the educational and musical success of students in Howard County, including Haley Kittleman. That's not even who serves as a peer for 3 years. As we wish him good health and happiness in his retirement. Now therefore I, Allan H. Kittleman, County Executive of Howard County, Maryland, do hereby proclaim June 13th, 2015, Barry Enzman Day in Howard.